A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing great. Today inshallah we are going to start a new lesson, and that is about calling out to someone. So we are going to study the haroof that are used for calling someone. They are called Haroof and Nida. Nida means call in Arabic, and the one who's being called out to, he is called Munada. Okay, so that's why you can see Haroof and Nida and Munada on the screen. Alright, so let's begin our lesson, and of course, as always, we are going to ask for help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us both to teach as well as to understand. So Rabbi Yasir wala tu'assir wa tamim bil khair. Amin ya rabbal alameen. Alright, so first of all, some terminologies and then we can proceed. Okay, so in English we have uh, some words from which we can call out to the other person. For example, the most common one actually is hey. Okay, so hey boy, called the teacher. So here, this is the word with which the boy is being called. The boy is the one who is being called, all right, and the one who is calling out is teacher. Okay, so in Arabic, the one who is calling is called munadi, as you can see this kasra. Okay, the one who is being called is called munada, all right, and the harf or the word which is used to call out to someone is called harf nida. Okay, now the thing that you need to remember is that the munada is always marfa. Remember how we studied 7 ways for, we studied 7 situations for an ism to be in marfa status? This was one of them. Alright, so if an ism is being called out to, then that is marfa. Okay, as you can see yourself, because you see on itself the boy is simply nakra. Okay, it's not the boy, it's a boy, but since it gets called out to, some sort of exclusivity gets, or specificity gets added to this boy, therefore it becomes marfa. Okay, now there are some not too much frequently used haroof as well, but we are going to study those at the very end. Okay, we'll only just briefly touch them, just get introduced to them, but we're going to study at great length the 2 most common ones. First of all, it's the usage of ya. All right, and what are different scenarios related to ya, and then this Allahumma. All right, we're going to study this. Okay, now as you can see, there are 7 ways to call out to someone. There are 12 ways to call out to someone. Out of these 12, the 11 ways are related to ya. All right, and the 12th one is this individual, this separate one. Okay, and that's what we're going to study. First, we're going to study the entire thing with elaboration, and then we're going to return to this review chart to see, to revise, to put all the concepts together, inshallah. Okay, so let's begin. Most common harf nida is ya. Now we're going to study, now the various situations arise because of different kinds of situation that the munada is in. Okay, so it's the munada that dictates the usage of ya. Okay, how you're going to use it. So if the munada is someone specific, all right, then what do? You simply add ya, and then after the ya, you make the munada rafa and light. So you check the tanween away and you replace it with a single rafa harkat, which is only one dhamma. Okay, so that's what you do. If it is someone specific, so if there's some specific man that you're calling out to, you simply replace the tanween with replace the tanween of munada with a single rafa harkat, which is dhamma. So it becomes ya rajulu, hey man. Okay, Now, if you need to call out to someone by name, all right, so that means that the munada is ism alam. What do you do then? Same thing. You simply make it light and in rafa form. So if you're calling out to someone named Khalid, what do? You say ya Khalidu. Okay. Why? Well, because that's how it is done. How and what do? You simply replace the tanween with a single harakat of rafa form, which means simply a dhamma, single dhamma. Okay, it is light and rafa. Munada. Hey Khalid. All right, munada is light and rafa. Ya Khalidu. All right, how about you want to call out to someone totally random? For example, if you're in a crowd and you just want to say, for example, in English, we often say, help me, anybody. Okay, so that anybody, how do you translate that in Arabic? What do? You simply let it remain with the tanween, but you make it nasab. Okay, so munada becomes nasab and with tanween. So ya musafiran, musafir is your passenger. Okay, someone who travels. So traveler is musafiran. And if you want to call out to someone random, any random person, all right. So what do? You simply make it nasab and you don't make it light. Okay, it is with tanween. So ya musafiran. Okay, next, what if the munada is prefixed with al? That means that it is mu'arraf bil lam. As you can see, our munada is al kafiruna. Okay, and it is prefixed with al. It is mu'arraf bil lam. So in such cases where the munada has been prefixed with al, you simply add ayyuha after ya. Okay, because if you don't do this, it will become yal kafiruna, and it wouldn't really make any sense, would it? It wouldn't sound too good, would it? So you simply add ayyuha. All right, so it becomes ya ayyuhal kafiruna. Okay, this is only done for the munada that is attached with al. Okay, so you add ayyuha after ya. What about its what about if it is a feminine noun? Then you simply do the addition of this ta in ayyuha, so it becomes ayyatuha. Okay, grammatically the word nafs is feminine, so you're going to add ya ayyatuha, all right, and not ayyuha. Okay, so ayyuha is for masculine munada that have been prefixed with al, and ayyatuha is used for the munada that gets prefixed with al, and it is grammatically feminine. Okay, so ya ayyatuhan nafsu, o self. Okay, now this is a very important point. What about those cases when we are calling out to someone that is muzaff? Remember muzaff, muzaff ilayh? In those situations, what we do is that we make the muzaff nasab. All right. For example, Rabbul Alameen. All right, that is your muzaff, muzaff ilayh. All right. And what if we are calling out to the Rabb of Alamina? All right, so we are calling out to the muzaff. What do? We simply make it Rabbal Alamina instead of Rabbul Alamina. Okay, so in case you have noticed, whenever I begin the lesson, I start off with Amin Ya Rabbal Alameen. All right, I never say Ya Rabb, Amin Ya Rabbul Alameen. That is wrong. So you have to say Amin Ya Rabbal Alamina. Okay, O Rabb of the worlds. Okay, now the same thing applies in the next point. Mostly what happens is that this ya gets omitted. Okay, and that's how we get the word Rabbana. It's not actually a word, it's a Muzaff Muzaff alayh combo. Now you know that, right? So the original phrase was Rabbuna, right? Rabbuna, our Rabb. But we are calling out to him, and it's the Rabb who we are calling out to, and that is Muzaff. So what happens to Muzaff whenever it gets called out to? It becomes Nasab. Therefore, it becomes Rabbana. And it is actually Ya Rabbana, but since the Arab of the word Rabba tells us that it can only be nasab at this moment because of ya, so it's okay if it gets omitted. Okay, so this ya often gets omitted in these situations. That's how we get Rabbana. Okay, in all the prayers that we come across, Rabbana. All right, now this one's quite interesting. Okay, if the munada demands any kind of respect, we add the la with the munada. Okay, so add la after ya, thus making the munada majroor, because of course this is the same thing, right? However, the usage here is slightly different. The dynamics remain the same, but the usage gets a bit different. So what's happening is that if you have ya, and then you need to put some respect to Amir. The word Amir, by the way, means leader. So what do? You simply add this la here, and then due to this la, the word Amir gets majroor, right? As it always does. But the presence of this la right after ya means that a respect has been given. Now this is all related to context, okay? So you'll be able to pick these things up when they appear before you, inshallah. Okay, so ya lal amiri. Okay, respect. Similarly, if it is a request that we demand from the munada, same thing happens. We add la, and then of course the munada becomes majroor. Okay, o our companions. Okay, similarly, if we are in surprise, if we are surprised because of anything, okay, so in English we often say whoa. Okay, the same thing is captured by adding la after ya. Okay, so it literally becomes, oh, surprise. Okay, so that's the kind of thing. Now most of the things that you might have noticed in various lessons, you might have noticed that the essence cannot exactly be captured in translation, but you can at times understand it, in your mind what's happening, right? But you can't exactly put it in words. Okay, so this is something quite natural because you are attempting to translate a very concise, comprehensive, and yet a very vast language within a few within a few words. So that of course takes some bit of effort, and most of the time you are unable to do that. Okay, so get used to this thing. It's perfectly all right. Okay, so these three things: whenever you need to show respect to the munada, or you need to request the munada, or you need to show, or I mean, it just gets out of your mouth as a reflex. Okay, just like whoa. You don't plan to say whoa, you just say it, right? So that's the thing. What do? You simply add this la after ya, all right, and thus the munada becomes majroor. Okay, this is what. Okay, next we have the suffix of meme, all right, ma. Now this is only used to call out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so that's how we get Allahumma. It's actually Allah, Allahu, all right, but then you join it with this ma, and it becomes Allahumma, all right, and it is only used to call out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right, next, whenever you need to show some tragedy or mourning, what do? You simply add the suffix of either alif or ha with sakoon, all right, or both with the munada. So as you can see here, ya zaida, all right, so this is a way to express tragedy or mourning. Okay, so alas, as we say in English, in old and classical English, nobody uses alas now. Okay, uh, anyways, so we have ya zaida, and we also have ya zaida, all right. So this is what, whenever you need to show tragedy that is somehow associated with the munada, then you use this, either the simple suffix, only the suffix of alif, or hamza, I'm sorry, or hey, all right, ha with the sakoon, or put them both together, ya zaidah. Okay. And if it is some intense tragedy associated with the munada, then you replace the ya with wa with the same suffixes. Okay, so suffix of both alif or ha with sakoon, or both with the munada, and replace ya with wa. So instead of ya zaidah, it becomes wa zaidah. Okay, Allah said. All right, so it's that kind of thing. All right, and we are done with our common ones. The relatively less common ones are the ones that are listed here. We've got Hamza, we have got Aya, Haya. All right, now for the beginners level, I would urge you to focus on the ones that we have studied here, okay? And inshallah, later on, when we'll begin our advanced course, we will cover these, okay? But study the common ones right now. Now, within 2 minutes, inshallah, we are just going to go through this entire summary lesson, this entire summary chart, and then we will wind up this lesson. Okay, so first of all, what do you see? You see Ya Rabbal Alameen. All right, let's begin it the other way. Okay, so first of all, Ya Rajulu. What do you see? You see that the munada is rafa and it is light. So what do you mean, what do you understand by this? That this is some specific man. Rajulu, by the way, means man, a man. So that you simply understand it that there is some specific man that is being called out to. Okay, Ya Khalidu. This is ism alam, somebody named Khalid is being called, and the tanween gets chucked out and it is replaced with a single harakat. Okay, Ya Rajulan. What do you see? You see that this is nasab and with tanween, so this means that this is any random man, a random call for help or anything. All right, so any random man is being called out to. Okay, all right, next, Ya ayyuhal kafiruna. Why do we see ayyuha? We see that because we have the munada as mu'arraf bilam. All right, and since this word kafiruna, al-kafiruna is masculine grammatically, we have used ayyuha. If the munada is mu'arraf bilam and it is grammatically feminine, such as the word an-nafsu, we use ayyatuha. Okay, so ya ayyatuha nafsu. Okay, next we have ya rabbal alameen. Here we see that. So it is Ya Rabbal Alameen. Why? Because, well, it is Muzaff and the Muzaff is being called out to. Therefore, it is Nasab. Alright? And it was already light and without Alif Lam because it is Muzaff. Okay, so Muzaff by definition has to be without Alif Lam and it has to be light. Okay? So that's what. Okay. And at times this ya gets omitted, so we get Rabbana. Ya Rabbana becomes only Rabbana. Okay, and of course now you also must understand the difference between Rabbuna and Rabbana. All right, so you get that here. Okay, then if we need to show tragedy associated with the munada, we simply add the suffix of either alif alone as seen here, ya zaida, like this, okay, or we do this, we add alif along with ha with sakoon, ya zaidah. All right, and if it is some intense tragedy, then we say wa instead of ya. Okay, and then finally, yeah, I think we're done with all. Yeah, so if we need to show some respect or some request, or we need to show some surprise, then in these situations we simply attach la with the munada, thus the munada becomes majroor. Okay, and finally we have Allahumma, and how do we get that? We simply attach the suffix of ma with Now this ma must be having tashdid and a fatha. Okay, this is how it should be, and this gets suffixed to the word Allahu. All right, thus it becomes Allahumma. All right. So our revision for the Haroof Nida and different ways to call out to someone by using ya are done. Alhamdulillah. All right. So let's end this lesson here. I hope that you understood it completely, inshallah. If there are any questions or queries, or you need some elaboration on something, let me know, and inshallah I'll get back to you. So learn these things, guys, because these things are going to, start popping up for you from the Muzaff, inshallah. Okay, so till the next lesson, where we are going to study the pointers, the this, that, those things. Okay, um till the next lesson, inshallah, I'll take your leave. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al Hakim. Allah Hafiz.